You say you want focus. You say you're tired of distractions. But your screen time says otherwise. You scroll for hours, chase dopamine hits, and then wonder why your life feels stuck. This isn't about motivation. It's about addiction. Addiction to comfort, chaos, and the easy way out. The brutal truth? You're not lazy. You've just trained your brain to lose. And if you don't rewire it, now you'll keep losing. Not because you're weak, but because your default settings are broken. Let's fix that. You wake up tired, not because you didn't sleep, but because your soul is drained. You check your phone before your feet even hit the floor. Notifications, endless scrolling, 100 voices yelling for your attention, and none of them are your own. By the time you brush your teeth, your mind has already been hijacked. You're not in control. You're reacting, drifting, surviving. You sit down to work, but focus lasts 5 minutes before distraction creeps in. Another tab, another text, another loop. You tell yourself you're productive because you stayed busy, but deep down, you know you got nothing meaningful done. The list is still there. The goal's still untouched. And the worst part? You've normalized it. You've started calling this fog life. You say, I'm just tired, or it's just a phase. But it's not a phase, it's a pattern. And it's stealing your potential. You feel guilty for not doing enough, yet you're exhausted from doing too much. You start things, but rarely finish. You jump from idea to idea, hoping the next one will stick. But nothing does, because you're not anchored. You lack clarity. You lack systems. You lack that relentless, unshakable focus that separates the doers from the dreamers. And it's not because you don't care. You care too much. That's the problem. You care so much, it paralyzes you. You're afraid of failing, so you hide behind busyness. Afraid of judgment, so you play it safe. Afraid of discomfort, so you retreat to what's familiar even if it's killing your growth. You weren't born to live like this. You weren't designed to drift, to numb out, to coast through days without purpose. You were made to build, to lead, to impact. But somewhere along the way, you started settling. You started believing the lie that maybe this is all you'll ever be, that maybe greatness is for others, that maybe you're just average. That lie has been playing on repeat in your head for years, and now it's running your life. But here's the truth. No one tells you. The reason you feel stuck isn't because you lack talent. It's because your mental operating system is cluttered with outdated code, excuses, self-doubt, old stories. And unless you strip that system down and rebuild it, no motivation video, no productivity app, no to-do list hack will ever save you. Because the issue isn't out there. It's in here. It's the way you think, the way you decide, the way you respond to life's pressure. That's the real battlefield. And until you own that, nothing will change. Let's stop lying to ourselves. The problem isn't that you don't know what to do. It's that your brain is wired to resist doing it. You've trained yourself, without even realizing it, to avoid discomfort at all costs. And every time you scroll instead of starting, every time you delay instead of deciding, every time you settle for good enough instead of pushing for great, you're reinforcing a loop that says, comfort is safety, challenge is danger. But that's a lie. At the root of your distraction, your procrastination, your constant restlessness is a deeper wiring issue. It's not about laziness. It's about programming. From the moment you were a child, you've been conditioned to seek approval, to avoid failure, to blend in. You were taught to color inside the lines, to raise your hand, to follow the rules, to wait your turn. So now, as an adult, Every time you try to break free, every time you try to level up, that same programming pulls you back into safe mode. Worse than that, there's a voice in your head, the one that sounds like your own, but isn't. It's your past. It's every failure, every criticism, every moment of doubt bundled into a single identity. The cautious one, the inconsistent one, the almost made it one. You've internalized these labels until they've become your truth. But they're not. They're just echoes. And they've been running the show for too long. Your focus doesn't break because of technology. It breaks because your mind is addicted to escape. Your brain has learned to reward the short-term dopamine of distraction over the long-term satisfaction of progress. That's why checking your phone feels easier than building your dream. That's why cleaning your room suddenly becomes urgent when you sit down to create. It's not coincidence, it's design. Your brain is protecting you from fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. But here's the cold truth. The very mechanism that was once meant to protect you is now limiting you. It's the firewall between you and your potential. Every excuse you make isn't a reason, it's a reflex. And the longer you obey it, the more power it gains. Because the brain doesn't care about your goal set, only cares about comfort. It doesn't care if you grow. It cares if you survive. If you want to change your life, you have to change the code. You have to challenge the voice that says, "Not today." You have to interrupt the habit loop before it drags you into another wasted hour. You need to stop negotiating with the part of you that wants easy. Because that part will always win until you make a decision it cannot reverse. Until you take back control. This isn't about working harder. It's about working deeper. It's about identifying the scripts you've been running and rewriting them line by line. No one's coming to do that for you. No coach, no mentor, no book can rewire your brain if you're still feeding it the same beliefs. You are the programmer. You are the code. And the moment you realize that you stop being a slave to your mind and start becoming the architect of your focus. So, how do you rewire a brain that spent years defaulting to distraction? How do you go from scattered and reactive to laser-focused and unstoppable? It doesn't start with motivation. It starts with a decision. A line in the sand. A moment where you stop living on autopilot and start living by design. And it's not as complicated as the world makes it out to be. You don't need another app, another planner, or another 5-step routine. You need commitment to one truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the strength of your systems. Here's the system. Step 1. Cut the noise. Eliminate before you optimize. Get brutally honest about what's stealing your focus, your phone, your inbox, the people around you who drain your energy. If something isn't pushing you forward, it's pulling you back. Create friction between you and your distractions. Log out, turn off notifications, move apps off your home screen. Set a timer, put your phone in another room, and reclaim your mental space. If your environment isn't aligned with your intentions, you'll lose every time. Step 2. Schedule intensity, not time. Most people block hours on a calendar and then waste them in half focus. Instead, train your brain for deep work. Start with 25-minute bursts of pure, undistracted action. Pick one task, one outcome, one mission. Go all in, no tabs, no toggling. Then take a short break and repeat. Your brain isn't lazy, it's untrained. But just like a muscle, it gets sharper with repetition. Intensity beats duration. Focus beats effort. Step 3. Own your mornings. The first hour of your day sets the tone for the rest. Stop waking up and diving into chaos. Design a ritual, a simple one that anchors you. No phone, no news. Just you, your thoughts, your goals. Read, write, reflect, move your body, breathe. This is where you program the mindset you need before the world starts pulling you in 100 directions. Win the morning, and you start the day with momentum that's almost impossible to stop. Step 4. Track progress, not perfection. You won't be perfect. You'll slip. But don't let one off day become a narrative of failure. Measure the reps. Did you focus for 25 minutes? That's a win. Did you resist the scroll for an hour? That's a win. Stack the wins, and you'll stack belief. And belief is the gateway to focus. Because the more evidence you give your brain that you can control it, the more it listens to you instead of sabotaging you. Step 5. Repeat until it becomes identity. You don't just do focused work. You become someone who is focused. Someone who protects their time like it's gold. Someone who doesn't need to prove anything because the results do it for them. This is how transformation happens, not in a burst of motivation, but in a quiet, daily decision to act like the person you want to become. These steps aren't flashy. They won't go viral, but they work. Not because they're magic, but because they speak the language your brain understands. Consistency, clarity, commitment. No excuses, no limits. Just you're wiring your mind one focused moment at a time. Picture this. It's 4:30 in the morning. It's cold, it's dark, and everyone else is still asleep. But there's one man tying his shoes, stepping out into the chill, lungs burning, heartbeat pounding, no applause, no cameras, just silence and sweat. He's not training for a race. He's training for life. Because he knows every rep in the dark writes the results in the light. That man isn't special. He's not gifted. He just made a choice to stop negotiating with weakness, to stop asking for permission to be great. While others scroll, he sharpens. While others snooze, he executes. He understands something most don't. Focus is built in silence. Discipline is forged in the moments no one sees. Or take Hertha, single mother working 2 jobs. She's exhausted, barely getting by, but every night after her kids fall asleep, she opens her laptop, not to watch, but to build, to study, to grow. Her friends say she's doing too much. She smiles and keeps going. Because she's not building for approval, she's building for freedom. Every hour she invests is one brick closer to the life they told her she could never have. These people don't have more time. They have more clarity, more hunger. They've chosen to suffer on purpose rather than suffer by default. That's the difference. The world will always offer you distraction. It will tempt you with shortcuts, numb you with comfort, and sell you a version of success that's hollow. But real power, the kind that lasts, is earned in the grind, in the discipline no one claps for, in the moments you show up even when no one's watching. You want relentless focus? Then act like someone who already has it. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait until it's convenient. Build your life around what matters, not what's easy. Cancel the noise. Protect your time like it's your lifeline, because it is. Get obsessed with your growth. Be unreasonable about your goals. Ruthless with your distractions. Relentless in your pursuit. You think your phone is the enemy? No. The real enemy is the story you keep telling yourself that you need it, that you can't function without it, that you'll start tomorrow, that you'll try harder next week. No, you won't, unless you choose differently today. And that choice won't be comfortable, but it will be powerful. Every time you choose focus over comfort, you're voting for your future self. And the more you vote, the stronger that version becomes. These examples aren't fairy tales. They're proof. Proof that discipline beats talent, that clarity beats chaos, that the people who win aren't lucky, they're focused. And the best part? You can be one of them if you're willing to fight for it, if you're willing to rewire your brain, own your time, and trade excuses for execution. Because every focused action today becomes the freedom you live tomorrow. And that's not motivation, that's math. Look, I don't know your story. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know the pain you've had to carry or the battles you fight in silence. But I do know this, you've made it this far. And that means there's something in you that refuses to quit. Something that still wants more. And I'm telling you now, that part of you, that hunger, that flicker, feed it. Don't wait for the perfect conditions. They don't exist. Don't wait to feel inspired. You won't. Don't wait until you have more time, more energy, more support. You have everything you need inside you, right now. Clarity, discipline, purpose. But you have to choose to activate it. Today, not tomorrow, not next Monday, not when things calm down. Because they won't. Life won't slow down for you. You have to rise faster than the chaos around you. So do one thing. Just one. After this end stake, back 5 minutes. Close your eyes. Breathe. Ask yourself one brutal question. What have I been avoiding that I know would change my life if I just faced it? Don't justify. Don't explain. Just answer. Then write it down and commit. Not to perfection, not to massive change overnight, just to momentum, just to doing the next right thing on purpose. Maybe that means turning your phone off for an hour today. Maybe it means waking up 30 minutes earlier tomorrow. Maybe it means blocking time on your calendar for the thing you keep saying matters but never make time for. Maybe it means telling someone no without apology. Whatever it is, make it real. Make it count. Make it yours. Because your life doesn't change with words, it changes with action. Tiny shifts, done consistently, beat big promises broken over and over. And if you're waiting for permission, this is it. You don't need to be fixed. You don't need to be more like anyone else. You just need to stop waiting for the world to make you ready and start building a mind that doesn't flinch when it's time to move. This is personal now. No more blame, no more hiding. You've got one life and it's happening now, not someday. You've spent enough time on the sidelines. It's time to step in. To take ownership. To decide that no excuseno story, no past, no distraction gets to run your future. Only you do. And if that sounds hard, good. It should be. Because anything worth becoming should demand everything you've got. So start. Not perfectly. Not later. Now. I want you to imagine something. Close your eyes and see it clearly 6 months from now. A version of you wakes up with peace in their chest, not panic. They move through the day with clarity, not chaos. They don't second-guess every step. They don't negotiate with distractions. They don't drown in overwhelm because they built a mind that knows how to show up no matter what. That version of you didn't get there by luck. They didn't stumble into focus. They earned it. They rewired their thoughts, one hard choice at a time. They said no to things that once controlled them. They stopped chasing motivation and started building identity. They didn't need perfect days, they just needed relentless ones. They made peace with discomfort, and in doing so, unlocked a life most people only talk about. And here's the wild part, they're not far away. That future version of you, they're closer than you think. Every focused hour, every honest moment, every brave decision pulls them closer. You don't need to leap. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to move in their direction, even when it's messy, especially when it's hard. Because the gap between where you are and who you could be, it isn't time, it's choice. You're not broken. You're just buried under expectations, under noise, under habits that never belonged to you. But underneath all, that is still you. Sharp, focused, powerful, waiting. And you get to choose, starting today, to stop being a prisoner of your past and start becoming the architect of your future. So take a breath, stand tall, silence the voice that says, maybe later. Look in the mirror and say it out loud. No excuses, no limits. And mean it. Because this is your time, not tomorrow. Not when life gets easier. Now, you don't owe the world your perfection. You owe yourself your potential. And if no one else tells you this today, I believe in the person you're becoming. Now, go become them.